The more you can find complementarities between human intelligence and machine intelligence, the more success you will get. As the machines become better in prediction, human beings become more valuable when it comes to judgment. Because the machines can do a good job with prediction and causal and predictive and prescriptive, but they cannot do a good job with judgment. And that's why, even 20 years back, people had predicted that many jobs would be lost to AI, but you don't see that as much because many of those jobs require judgment. The future belongs to those who can combine this duality, man-machine duality. I don't think AI will replace managers, not over the next 10 years for sure. But those managers who use AI will replace those managers who don't use AI. What does it take for companies to adopt AI? A lot of what I hear is, we need to have data, we need to make decisions. But what I'll tell you is that what it really takes as a starting point is a deep understanding of human strengths and weaknesses compared to what machines and algorithms can do. If you think about historically, any technological revolutions have essentially achieved one purpose. That one purpose is it has reduced the cost of finding information. In a sense, machine learning is yet another technology that helps in improving prediction. That's basically what it does. It just helps in removing prediction. What that means is because the value of human prediction skills go down, the value of human judgment will actually go up. As machines become better at prediction, our value becomes more important in judgment. Airports also have large retail environments, duty-free stores and many other restaurants and so on. Now, as soon as you sign on to the Wi-Fi, that institution gets a very rich data about your walking trajectory. The question is, how can these institutions use that data for commercial reasons? We've also identified another use, which is redesigning the airport retail environment based on if the maximum foot traffic is coming into the heavily trafficked gates or the less traffic gates. Okay? So should retail shops be located near gates that are heavily foot traffic or near gates that have less foot traffic? How can you leverage Wi-Fi to tap into the physical space? And then can you use location-based targeting or can you use other kinds of mobile targeting in this space? So let me give you an example of some work that we did. One example is in Beijing, in China. So we worked with one of the largest shopping malls over there. The idea was to test the effectiveness of different kinds of mobile marketing targeting. So let's say this is the Apple store, Apple, for smartphones. And if Apple is going to target this person with an offer, then on one hand, they might be right in thinking that this customer is waiting in front of the Apple store. So maybe he's interested in an Apple product. Alternatively, this could be a false positive. He is just waiting for his friend in front of the Apple store. So it could be either one of the scenarios. He's waiting for a friend, he's not interested in Apple, or he is actually waiting to get into the Apple store. Just using my location data in real time is not going to be enough, but let's say I know that first he went to the Samsung store. From Samsung, he then went to the Huawei store. From Huawei, he went to the Google Pixel store. From Google Pixel, maybe he went to the BlackBerry store. And then from BlackBerry, he finally came to the Apple store. So when you sign on to the Wi-Fi of a shopping mall or an airport, this is the kind of data that the stores are getting about you. And then they can understand what might be your purchasing intent. Right? If you came to the Apple store after going to the BlackBerry store, Google Pixel, Huawei, and Samsung, now you know that this customer is very likely interested in Apple products. So now the airport or the retail store, the shopping mall can target you with the right offer. For instance, if you go back to the history of Amazon, almost between 28 to 35% of all sales on Amazon originated from recommender systems. Okay? So this is a pretty big number, as you can imagine, and a similar number originates from Netflix too. So we have 80% of streaming data coming from recommender systems. So recommender system is one of the earliest use cases of predictive modeling, and this has been going on for a long time now, right? But not only that, what is also useful is that once you have a recommender system in place, you can then identify which other customers buy products like you, and then recommend those products to a given set of customers. So not only are you able to target a given customer, but once you have their data, you can then use that data to target other customers. So in recommender systems, this is known as the cold start problem, that you can solve the initial problem of what offer to give to whom. This is an example of what we call, they call it the traffic jam whopper. So basically the idea is, if you are driving in a city with a lot of traffic, sometimes you're sitting for 2 hours going from home to work. And if you're hungry, then at that time, normally you don't have a choice. But Burger King, the fast food place, decided to deliver orders to you while you are sitting in the car based on your location data. So they identified that these people are sitting in a traffic jam and they must be hungry. And so they send them, offers.
We used real-time data to detect our potential buyers in a traffic jam, to offer them a Whopper and deliver on the move.
Fernanda, buenos días. Señor Eduardo, buenas tardes.
Ay, qué bien.
Our media was 100% dynamic, promoting our service only in high congestion zones. By leveraging traffic and drivers' real-time data, we adjusted our billboards' location and content. The messages displayed information about the remaining time in traffic to order and personalized updates about deliveries in progress. Also, Waze banner ads and push notifications invited drivers to get a Whopper as soon as they entered our delivery zones. People were able to use voice commands to place the order and avoid tickets. Finally, using the latest Google Maps APIs, our app pinpointed vehicle location and speed in order to deliver for the first time ever to a driver on the move. The delivery zones changed, following the traffic live, making our service available when a gridlock was identified, always within a 3-kilometer radius from the restaurants.
Hola Mariana, ¿cómo estás?
Ay, te agarraría besos.
Lo siento, estoy en servicio.
In just 1 week, we increased delivery orders by 63%, and our daily app download rate increased 44 times, becoming the #1 fast food app, surpassing McDonald's, Domino's, and Starbucks in Mexico. Coming soon, Los Angeles, San Paulo, and Shanghai. The Traffic Jam Whopper.
Enjoy the traffic jam.
This is the kind of project, so we first started this back there in the West, but we've also done this actually, something similar to this in Seoul. And we work with Escape Telecom for this. Escape Planet was the particular division within Escape Telecom. And the idea is that, when people are commuting from home to work, sometimes, like I said, you can be very stressed because of traffic or something else. And we send people offers on their phones during these very stressful times. Okay, so the offers came from like Dunkin' Donuts or fast food, but also other retail products. And it turns out that during these stressful environments, it is people like to actually respond to these mobile offers because shopping can be a de-stressing experience. All human beings have this limitation. The predictive pillar is because we are not so good at explicating tacit knowledge. And that's why you need the algorithm for that. So does AI always succeed? I'll tell you no. There are scenarios where AI fails. For example, when we work with the bank, one time, I was in Sao Paulo in Brazil. I had some little bit time off, and I ended up buying a gift for my wife. So the gift was sort of, a piece of jewelry. And my credit card got declined. Then I called the bank, and they said, "Sir, you have never bought jewelry in Sao Paulo. That's why we declined your credit card." So it's not the amount. The amount was similar to, many airline business class tickets. It's not the location, because I've been to Sao Paulo many times. And it's not jewelry, because I bought jewelry in the US. The reason it was declined is I've never bought jewelry in Sao Paulo. So, even though it was a genuine case, the algorithm failed to recognize that the same individual who may buy jewelry in New York City for the same price can buy it elsewhere. So there are many instances where algorithms still fail. What do regulators need? You need to have people who can comply with those regulations. Generally, we have data from which we make prediction. From there, we have to have some judgment for decision making, okay? So AI is very good with respect to taking the data and making predictions, but the judgment part is where you still need human beings, okay? Without the judgment, you cannot have the action. Without the action, you won't have the outcomes. If you decide to completely outsource it to the algorithms, then you will run the risk of actually making several wrong judgments. And so you've seen that that as the cost of prediction, judgment is like a complement to prediction. Okay? So that's the good news, at least for those of us who worry about the future of AI. Is AI going to take away jobs? Is it going to create unemployment? I don't necessarily think so, because like I said, while there are some things that AI can do better, there are many things that human beings can do at least as well, if not better.